Something that is currently not available to millions of people in Australia is still going to be made available to those people, but you should double check with your doctor whether there is a infinitesimal chance that you may get a blood clot if you take it. Game over, right? That's the announcement. Now, as you've heard today, that there are lots of countries that have their concerns about a very, minute percentage of people who've taken the AstraZeneca vaccine under the age of 60 or 50 or 30 and whether it is going to produce blood clots. Again, the people who have spent the past 12 months telling you COVID's not a worry because 99 point however many % of people never die, so therefore why have we closed the borders, why have we ruined the economy, are the same people trying to tell you the sky's falling in because of an infinitesimal result of people getting blood clots. Now, this doesn't mean it's a nothing, but it's close to it. That's it. What has happened now is that people under the age of 50 are being told to double check about what version of the COVID-19 vaccine they get when it becomes available to them. There is no concerns that we are hearing tonight for anyone over the age of 50, certainly over the age of 70, which of course is where we need the bulk of people to get the vaccine. So those who are most at risk of comorbidities and age being one of them of COVID-19, making them very crook or taking their life. So here's the Prime Minister explaining what has been announced tonight, and the reason they jumped in front of the cameras at 7:15 Canberra time was to make sure that the public knew as soon as they did. But remember, no one under the age of 50 can get the vaccine right now.
The Australian Technical Advisory Group on Immunisation, known as ATAGI, has met to consider the medical evidence regarding unforeseen but yet rare and serious side effects mostly associated with younger people from the AstraZeneca vaccine. ATAGI has reviewed that matter, drawing on the international advice and data, and provided recommendations to government, which the Health Minister and I have this evening accepted. That recommends that an advisory be provided for administration of the AstraZeneca vaccine for persons under the age of 50.
The Chief Medical Officer, when asked about why now, said this.
These particularly rare but serious blood clots that have been associated now with the AstraZeneca vaccine. So they took into account and really balanced the risk and benefit of taking the decisions they took today, which is related to their advice given to government this evening. And they took definitely note what was decided in other countries, which has been variable in relation to these matters, and put that into an Australian context, not only as we are now in terms of the epidemiology of the disease in Australia up to this point, but also looking into the future about what might happen if there are outbreaks of COVID-19 in Australia.
Now, of course, it's an interesting story, but the difference between this being an interesting story and the biggest deal in the history of the vaccine is that all of our eggs are not in one basket. People under the age of 50 are going to be directed towards the Pfizer vaccine, not the AstraZeneca vaccine. And that's because Australia has multiple deals with multiple people who are producing multiple COVID-19 vaccines. Now, I don't know, when you go to the GP, if you are offered your choice of vaccine or whether they are made, I don't know. But that's a question that we'll get to as we get closer to the time when it's time for you to choose or choose not to have the jab. But straight away the politics, not even before the Prime Minister's press conference was over, the alternative Prime Minister was tweeting this. Since last year, Labor has been calling on the Morrison government to get 5 or 6 vaccines for situations exactly like this. Again, we don't just have one deal with one vaccine maker. Scott Morrison dismissed these concerns. How much longer will Australians wait to be vaccinated because of Scott Morrison's arrogance? All right, Albo, and the press gallery and Twitter, let's all hold hands and learn together. This is an announcement from the Australian Department of Health that Australia has not 1 but 4 vaccines that we have access to. Some will be there in their millions, some will be in their hundreds of thousands, some will be at the front of the queue, some will be a little bit later. But by the way, those 4 approved vaccines, we actually have 9 different vaccines that we've started the process of either acquiring or we have deals to get when they are approved. 9. So all the eggs aren't in one basket, and no one under the age of 50 is currently getting the vaccine. When it is their turn, they will be getting one that is different from the AstraZeneca vaccine. In the meantime, those that are getting the AstraZeneca vaccine, including all the politicians and all the people talking, get the second jab.